All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob for Smirking Gun Reviews, and I wasn't gonna make any more videos until tonight after binging Orange is the New Black for the last 2 days and working and cranking out videos. I was feeling kind of burned out, and then I turned on YouTube. I started looking at all the stories about Fox and Disney and blah blah blah, what that means, how are they going to do this, how are they going to do that, where is this, blah blah blah. And so I'm just going to, but rather than procrastinate and think and think and think and watch a bunch of annoying people talk about this, here's one more annoying person, I guess, talking about it. But I just want to get my thoughts out of the way on this so I can move on with my life. And that's the whole Disney X-Men thing, Deadpool, Fantastic Four. So everybody is already starting to weigh in. People that just they've chosen their niche of what they talk about, whether they even give a shit about the topic. They'll just do the story because that's what's going to get them hits. And so I'm just going to try to give you my honest opinion as a fan, a real fan who reads real comic books, and grew up with the X-Men and Fantastic Four and all this stuff, and everybody's coming up with their theories at how Disney's going to incorporate the X-Men and Fantastic Four and Deadpool and into the MCU. And not to knock anybody that's given their opinion. Rob at Comics Explained. He's got 2 million, 5 million subscribers? I don't know. I watch all his videos because the guy has super knowledge about comics. He is really smart about comics. And his theory going into how they're going to bring into the X-Men into the Marvel Universe is very smart. Except it's too smart. He is so detailed into it. And I applaud him because this is how his theory is how I would want to see it done. But unfortunately, these movies are for a mass audience. And so they're not going to think as deep and as thought-provoking as Rob from Comics Explained did. If you go to his site and watch it, it is incredibly thought out. But like I said, these are for mass audiences, and for as much as I hate it, they have to dumb it down to get, Joe Q and Jane Q public into the seats. You don't even really have to try with the kids because, again, come on, kids just need the keys in front of their face. You give somebody with a flashy costume and says, something smart, snarky, and punches somebody, that's all they need. Us as comic fans, they give us just enough. But they do got to fill the seats with the average Joe who casually watches these movies, that doesn't give a crap about the lore and where it came from and all this other stuff. So using things for the X-Men, talking about Eternals and Celestials and all this other stuff is great as far as a historian wants to look at it. But they're never going to do that. Okay? They're never going to introduce the X-Men into the universe that way. Just not. But before we get into the X-Men, let's just cover how do I think they're going to bring Deadpool into the universe. And even though I'm a nobody, okay, I've seen a lot of movies, I've read a lot of comics, and I've seen how the trends go. And to me, the easiest way to bring Deadpool into the Marvel Universe seamlessly is to just do it. To just introduce him as if he's always been there. Because the character is that irreverent and fourth wall breaking and knows everything that's going on, that I think that by drawing attention to the fact that he's suddenly here is worse than is silly. The great idea is just suddenly have somebody turn and there he is. and they just treat him like he's always been there. Just without missing a beat, you have them start treating him the way they treat him in the comics. As the annoying guy that they all wish they didn't have to deal with. People will know and they will snap to immediately. They will not want... Having this big, long, detailed thing is silly. Everybody watches these movies. Just throw him in like he's always been there. And they could even use that for his movies, where they just have him, like, they could do montages of scenes that, you know, like were left out of other movies that he just all of a sudden appears in, and they show him in the background of things. Just make it silly. Make it fourth wall breaking for us. You know, show the studio basically breaking the fourth wall at us. Because I think if they try to they're not going to recast. They don't want to recast. And to try to, like, start over or something with Deadpool would just be a slap in the face to everything. And I think they know where the money is. The money is in Ryan Reynolds and where they've already gone. So they're just going to continue where they left off if they're smart. And I think that is the smart way to go about it with Deadpool. Now, with the Fantastic Four, that is a little bit different, because there's no way that if Reed Richards was around, he wouldn't have played a part in Infinity War and things building up to it, possibly. Because you think Tony Stark wouldn't know about a guy like Reed Richards? No way. So you do have to start over with them in some respect. And that's good, because what they need, they've never had a proper, you know, origin story. They haven't had a proper story or movie in, you know, that does the characters justice. So in this case, they just have to do a reboot. And it sucks, because if it had been done right, they wouldn't have to do this. But I think with the Fantastic Four, you just have to, like, have them be where they were too young to do anything about all this stuff. You know, they're up and coming, and they'll be able to help in phase 3 or 4 or wherever the hell we're at. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the Fantastic Four, except I do think that they will finally get it right. Now, as far as bringing the X-Men into this, like I said, they're not gonna try to reinvent the wheel. Now they say on here that they talks about just completely eliminating the Dark Phoenix movie and the New Mutants movie, stuff that's been pushed back, and probably pushed back not just because of production problems and things like that, but because of the whole deal thing. And so I think what they'll probably do, in some respect, to introducing them is, again, to show that they've always been there. Okay? Because the X-Men have always worked kind of in the shadows. They're not like, you read the comics today, and yeah, it's people like, oh, look out, the X-Men. But, like, in some of those time periods, like in the, like, Chris Claremont days and stuff, they were kind of like they weren't the most well known. They worked kind of in the shadows. They were, you know, doing their own thing. They weren't trying to be splashy all the time about their movements and what they were doing, because they didn't want to be persecuted, and the whole, you know, mutant, you know, problems that people have with mutants. So I think if you just do it to where they've been working, doing other things, show them doing that while events are going on. They were always there. You just didn't notice, because they didn't want to be noticed. And it is until after the snap that killed half of the galaxy that that they could use that story to force them out, to make them go, we have to announce ourselves to the world. And even though there won't be an X-Men movie until, you know, they've got Avengers 4 and Doctor Strange and, you know, all these other movies on their slate, you damn better be ready, because they're going to be working on this quick. And so they can still tell a story set, I mean, because since Captain Marvel's going to be, like, set in the 90s, right? So the first X-Men movie should be set around the events of Avengers 4 or closely after it. Or even, you know, during Avengers Infinity War, Avengers 4, and maybe right after it, somewhere in there. will be the smart move for them to introduce these people. People where the mutants have to go out and help people and help the world because half of humanity is gone and the heroes are kind of decimated too. As far as casting it goes, I'm not even going to touch that because I still can't see anybody else as Wolverine as Hugh Jackman. So I don't know. I don't know anything about the casting, but that is just my 2 cents on this. I think that's the look. They with the problems with Star Wars and things like that, but Marvel has proven their track record. They still have to be safe. They still have to hedge their bets. And trying to overcomplicate these introductions is just too hard. And you're going to lose your audience. You're going to have people scratching their heads going, what now? And they don't want that. They want an easiest transition as possible. So like I said, that's just my 2 cents. I've read it. I don't, I welcome any other opinions. But I just feel like if they try to overcomplicate it, they're going to lose money. And the last thing they want to do is lose any more money after things like Solo and stuff. But anyway, if you like this video, if you like my little opinion here about this, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think about this whole thing. Hit the bell for any notifications, and that's about it. I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in, and I have. So this is Rob from Smirking Gun Reviews saying, can't wait for how they do this. I can't wait for X-Men and Deadpool and Fantastic Four. But it's going to be a while. So I think, just for everybody's sake, let's get our opinions out there now so we can put this fucking topic to bed and not pound it into the ground so that by the time they actually give us these movies, we are already sick of them. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for all the support, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.